Greetings, my cosmic brethren. Hope y'all enjoying your morning so far, or it's already noon already. But you know how we do things around here. Let me get into it before I start spazzing off and, protecting as we usually do. Okay, so I wanted to go off. Kevin, this hasn't been said before. This has basically been said before by, The Undertaker, but Kevin Nash, I didn't even know he had a podcast. That's why I was subscribed. I was like, oh, damn. I love that, man. I didn't even know he had a podcast, but glad he do. Kevin Nash says WWE superstars today don't look like they could throw a punch. Basically saying they don't look marketable or, intimidating. Like, they don't look their parts. Okay, so speaking on his podcast, it's called Click This, Kevin Nash talked about the current WWE product. He criticized the WWE talent for not looking intimidating enough. He said the thing that I found out or realized was nobody has any heat. There's nobody on the television show that I look at and say, that person, if this was real and kicked my door down, I'd be like, oh, fuck. They're athletic, but they don't look like they can throw a effing punch. It's very important. Yeah, it's bad. And I want to read something else. He's barely wrong. He's completely right. Even in that sense, it's there's thousands of aspects of how today's wrestlers don't look their parts, and they don't know what they're doing, or they don't know how to organically get over. I've been around also enough to listen to a little bit of the spectrum of the side, and yeah, wrestling moves are not gonna get you over. I'm sorry to say that. All you spot fest geeks out there, which is I'm about to go in on, wrestling moves is not gonna get you over. Or it's not all about the rest. It was never all about the wrestling. Yeah, and granted, you're supposed to tell a story within the ring, but characters, which is why WWE has a name. Characters and storytelling matter. And then, I believe this was he also talked about this also. Shawn Michaels, then he proclaimed that Shawn Michaels had told him that NXT fans, this is the problem also, oh my gosh. Shawn Michaels told Kevin Nash that the NXT fans want to see spot fests, and they don't exist just in AEW, they're in WWE too, of course. And Shawn has said that, he said Kevin had went down and watched the NXT tape, and he was like, fuck, Shawn, slow the F down. He just looks at me and goes, it's not the style anymore. You just have to accept that. The style is the style. If you go out there and do tests of strength, people will walk out the arena. And that's oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm hearing this from Shawn of all people, the Shawn Michaels. Is he ridiculous? I can't believe that. This is the real Shawn Michaels. That's this can't make sense at all. You do know that people just how Roman Reigns. It's still prevalent. They still wrestlers of shot. Sasha and Bianca they did one at WrestleMania. Are you serious, Shawn? Are you that much of a drone now that you take everything Vince says? Alright, so let's get into here now. And which brings me to my conclusion of today, and where my basis writing up today. Wrestlers, they don't look. It's a lot of aspects that go into it, which he was basically saying that they don't look intimidating enough, basically markable enough. They don't look their parts. They don't look like stars. Which is the main problem. And they don't know how to get over it. They don't know, what to do in the ring. They don't have the psychology. They don't know how to work a match. That's the issue. Like, why do you think Seth, like, God, why do you think guys, like, newer generations, they were still at the time, they know what to do. Like, yeah, why do you think that, like, them both, Seth Rollins and, you can say Roman Reigns, like, they still know how to work a match? It's because they still had knowledge from veterans, and they knew they got knowledge, and they had to get to work a match, which is why. And they tell a very damn good story, not only in their characters but in the ring. I said, like, wrestling moves are not going to get you anywhere, especially in the WWE, which is what they're even lacking on some of. Like, why? Like, this is the problem. Like, why are you listening to fat bearded who drinks Coca-Cola and cheese puffs all day from that watch Japan? Like, who watches? Like, I don't care about being rude. Like, nobody watches fucking Japan. No one watches Japan wrestling. No one watches Impact, which is why they have the views that they have. And pretty much soon or so, if AEW is on out the door with them, because they keep, they're following the same suit. Like, no one objectively is gonna give. They're gonna get tired of the fact that you keep doing these spot fests and just keep doing matches and matches and matches that go nowhere. No, like, especially casuals. You know what? Like, people say casuals. Like, people call them casuals. You know why they have those terms? It's because casuals, they want to see something to hook onto. They want to see. They want to be grabbed. They want to be engaged. They want to take their mind off of something, and they want to revel. And hey, I mean, even that long-term fans or geeks or anything, like, they may seem casual too, in a way, like, they may think, whether it comes to projects like Star Wars or Dragon Ball Z. But it's like this, like, those people exist, those communities exist, is because they believe in characters. They love stories are being told. No one cares. Like, yes, like I said this already numerous times, but I'll always continue to address myself. Like, people like mindless action. That's why you still have, you have directors all over Hollywood. You have individuals like Michael Bay that exist, that people still, they can say, okay, I can, take my mind off of little things and, go here and watch this movie. But, that only lasts for a little bit of a while. Like, people are not going to still just pay, and, they're not going to want to sit down for just hours at a time to just be bulled, to just drool over, bull. Like, they want to be grabbed by something. They want to still feel and, look, be able to relate. Yeah, people want to relate to the person that they're watching on screen. Whether you don't like it or not, or you don't get it. That's it. I'm sorry. That's the conclusion that which is why you have what you have today. And these wrestlers, they don't get it. And because WWE also is not even teaching them this, and they get whatever that they're watching on these, especially from the indies. Like these guys think that just doing these spot fest, which is why you had this thing, because Randy Orton blasted months, Randy Orton blasted NXT, basically WWE, months ago, because, because you have people in NXT that don't know what the F they're doing. They don't know. So it's like, what's the point in building them up if they don't know what to do? Which is why you had what happened to Big E. Like, the man could have lost his life. Like I said, like, these wrestlers, like, how do you think people like Triple H, they have just injuries that they have today. Even, like the biggest of wrestlers, they have injuries. And, I mean, it's still unpreventable, but they still lasted the way they lasted for a very long time, because it was not about it was not about the match. It's never about the match. Characters and stories carry into the match. They carry the match, and they build themselves up off of being a character, charisma, look, mic work, and all, which is all the basic in WWE, and they carry that into a match, which is why there's fans, man, and which is why you even have such a community today. It's like which is why the Attitude Era was as popular as it was. Like I said, which is why I gave notice to. I see why I wear these spot fest geeks, and I don't know why these wrestling companies are even paying attention, and they wonder why they're losing. They're losing so many viewers. Like, put these spot fest geekies don't shouldn't be giving them attention at all. It's completely laughable. Like, then they wonder why they don't have any new stars. They wonder why you only have Roman Reigns. Like, who, and it's like even the stars that they're pushing as of now, it feels like it's too early, which I'll talk about, because as I've talked about Austin Theory, and they're pushing him like too early. Yes, he has the natural ability and everything, but he hasn't, and he does have, he can look like, if you pull it the right way, he can have heat. He can have major heat, just like he does right now. But it's like they're like making it look in a way, and they've geared him like to in a little bit the time that he's been on the main roster, and it's been too much, like in a short period of time. And it's like you can't do that. That's how you frustrate and irritate and push away your community, your consumer base. Like, you have to take WWE, I don't know, like I said, because you have a lot of, especially veterans. Like, why would you eat, like, that's why I said, I can't believe Sean, what are you even talking about, Sean? He should be teaching this basic 101. Like, he knows better. Like, what are you talking about, what fans, these kids, no, they don't. Like, you're talking about nobodies that sit on their fatties that don't do nothing all day. They don't breathe air. They don't breathe showers. They do nothing but sit and want to see shit that no one cares about. They don't care about them, so they want to push it on to everybody else because their culture and community is dying. So, like, no, man. Like this is why you have, like, the situation which you had with Big E, and like wrestlers, they want to so much, and they have the egos that they have. It's because they think that they have this small culture and a community of fatties, and they're telling them that they're good and they're not. Like, that's the problem with today's generation. It's like which is why I said, why does the rating even matter if you don't have credible enough stars? Like, where are you going forward? What's the move going forward if you don't, because it's getting to that point of where if Roman Reigns is not going to be there, you're not going to have any credible stars. The only stars you have also besides Roman Reigns, which is already out the door, is Randy Orton, and he's nearing his end too. Cody Rhodes, he's out right now, and he's not going to be there any longer also. So, and also got Drew. Like, they have to make in which they have. Like, they have to build the stars that they kind of already have in Drew and Cody when he comes back. And they have to still keep, Seth Rollins on that run. And Riddle is over too, so they should work on just to building him. Not like this creating another issue in Austin Theory, basically, John Cena 2.0, in which they're doing it 10 times much worse. But it's like, and people wonder why, the product is what it is. Like, and then people want to pretend, you have these geeks on Twitter especially, it's a joke. They pretend that they're all against WWE, but at the end of the day, they still soak it up and, bow down, and they get on their knees. So it's like, I don't want to hear that the whole fake outrage deal is just completely laughable. Whenever that happens, it's laughable because it's just a trend. People don't care. Today's generation, they don't care about wrestling. They just care about, they want to be validated and they want to be their own. They care too much about their they want to be their own. That's all about. They want to blend themselves into their own mirrors of clout, and they don't even have it because nobody's watching them. So it's like PG rating is not gonna the rating is not gonna matter, because if you don't have stars and you don't have consistent storytelling, which in every aspect you gotta have characters, gotta have wrestlers that look like stars. You gotta have booking that's properly. You have to have stories. Like, you gotta have all of this. They have to make themselves look like the part, which boils down into what I just said: mic work, character, charisma. Like, you gotta have all of that. It's just like, of course, WWE has disregarded all of that, and it's a complete shame. Then they want to send out these surveys and act surprised when people say all the wrestlers and their product is trash. It's because they're not doing anything. Why do you want to send out a survey when you're gonna expect an answer that you don't like? Like, but I don't know anything. People that think like me, we don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, I'll see y'all out. I said all I had to say, and if you have any opinions that you want to throw across, then the comment section is open. I mean, it's only going to be a point in time where, like I said, I'm really hoping that we're going into the next era, because we have our new stars, and this Logan thing, Paul has to work, which is most likely probably going to not. Like, I like being realistic. I don't pretend to be in Disneyland, because we're pretty much not there anymore. Not anymore. The 80s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s are over. So, yeah, man. It's like WWE's, they keep lacking. But I'll see y'all later. Stay blessed.